Hi, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you are doing well, yeah? Okay, good. So today we are going to discuss about our new chapter from literature reader. Okay? Yeah, it's in page number 38. Our new chapter, the fifth one, Macbeth. Before starting the chapter, you can see three images here. First one, it's card. Second one, two girls standing near to a man. Third one, a parrot with some cards. Okay, what are these pictures show you? I hope that three pictures are used to inform about the future. It is showing that some people are believing that something can predict the future. Okay, here this card can predict our future, or a man who have special power can predict the future, or the parrot, it can predict our future by using some cards. Okay, that pictures are shown here. So would you like to know what the future holds for you? Hmm? Name one advantage and disadvantage of knowing the future. Okay, then you just write that what kind of future you want in your life, what kind of future you want to to be happen in your life, and you have to write what will be the advantages or disadvantages of knowing our future. If we know that we will do everything or we will do something in our future, so is there any problem or is it very beneficial? Okay, then write your opinion. Good, then shall we start? Are you ready? William Shakespeare is considered one of the greatest playwrights of the English language. William Shakespeare, you may hear, is the one of the most famous English playwriter. Okay, playwriter in the world. He wrote his plays more than 400 years ago. His writings were written before 400 years. Macbeth was first performed in 1606. This story is set in Scotland. Yeah, the story of Macbeth was set in Scotland. A young and ambitious nobleman, very young and a man having lot of ambition, and also was a nobleman, and his wife dream of becoming the king and queen of Scotland, and his wife also. Both are dreaming to be the king and the queen of the Scotland. What will they do to achieve this? What they will do to achieve or to be the king of Scotland? And how will this affect their life? And if they do something, then how it will affect in their life? That we are going to learn from this chapter. Okay, so first, scene 1. It is a flat grey Scottish moor. Moor means an open area of not completely flat land, as usually covered with rough grass. It's a place where it's not completely flat, and also there will be a lot of rough grasses. Okay, with cold mist. Mist mean snow. So there were full of snow. Swirling. Swirling means going this way and that way in twisting. Okay, the cold is very much and the snow is just passing through them. And in that situation, okay, in that situation, two men on horses appeared. Two men riding the horse appeared there. They raced across the moor full of their own thoughts. They were crossing that place having full of thoughts in their mind. They are Macbeth, Tane of the estate of Glamis. Tane means in Scotland, a man having lot of land and people are living under him, or lot of money, and also having lot of power. They called Tan. Okay, a person who owns huge amounts of land and who therefore supports the community. He was Thane of the estate of Glamis. He was the Thane of the place of Glamis. And his friend Banquo. The second one was his friend Banquo. Suddenly, three strange figures that him three strange figures appeared before them. Three withered old women. Withered means having wrinkled and shrunken their skins, who were dancing around a witch cauldron. They were dancing around a witch cauldron means it's an old fashioned cooking pot, usually large and round. They were dancing around that pot. Three witches, they are saying, whirling around Macbeth. They were turning around the Macbeth and was saying, Hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis, Hail Macbeth, Thane of Cawdor. Hail someone means to have some special for someone. Okay, here Hail Macbeth, Thane of Glamis means Macbeth will be Thane of Glamis. And also Macbeth will be Thane of Cawdor. Then when this heard by Macbeth, he was saying in a low voice, True enough, is it true? I had become the Thane of Glamis after the death of my father. Yeah, I became the Thane of that place after the death of my father. But why do they hail me as the Thane of Cawdor? And why are they saying me that I will be the Thane of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor is alive and well. They were saying I will be the Thane of Cawdor, but the Thane of Cawdor, he is still living. So how I can be in that position? Then three witches loudly they were saying, Hail Macbeth, King of Scotland. Hail, Macbeth will be the King of Scotland. Hearing all this, Macbeth in amazement. King of Scotland, but King Duncan is alive. The Duncan king is alive, so how can I be the king? And his two sons are strong young men. He have two strong young sons. So how can I be the king? The three witches begin dancing around them, around Banquo and Tane. They chant, were saying the slogan and hurl in the mist. They were rounding in the mist. The first witch, it was saying, lesser than Macbeth but and greater. Yeah, Banquo will not be greater than Duncan, but he is little lesser than, but he was greater one person. The second witch was saying, not so happy yet much happier. He is not happy now, but will be happier soon. Then third witch was saying, your son shall be king, though you are not one yourself. You are not a king, but your son can be king in future. Okay. Saying this, the witches disappeared. They disappeared into the mist, into that snow, as suddenly as they had appeared. As suddenly as they appeared, this all became disappear. Okay. Banquo was whispering to himself and saying, have we gone mad? I do not know what is real and what is not. We just trapped in mad, or do we can realize that something happened here? The two men prepare to ride on when they see two horsemen. Yeah, this Banquo and Duncan, when they saw two men, they began to prepare for their ride. They are two noblemen who have been sent by Duncan. These two people who are coming, they were messenger of Duncan, the king of Scotland, with urgent news. It was they were bringing urgent news. Saying this, the witches disappeared into the mist as suddenly as they had appeared. Saying all this to Duncan and Banquo, the three witches they disappeared as suddenly as they appeared. Okay, they were appeared very suddenly and also they disappeared very suddenly. Banquo, whispering to himself, have we gone mad? I do not know what is real and what is not. After hearing all this from the three witches, they became amazed, they became shocked. That's why Banquo asked to Duncan, did we become too mad? Did we trap it into mad? We heard something special, we heard something amazing. How can we understand is it real or not? The two men prepare to ride on when they see two horsemen riding towards them. Yeah. Two horsemen were coming riding to them. Then they began to, or they prepared to start their journey. They are two noblemen who have been sent by Duncan, the king of Scotland. Yeah, they were two noble people, and they also were the messenger of King Duncan, king of Scotland, and they came with urgent news to Macbeth. First nobleman. to Macbeth. The Thane of Cawdor is to be executed for treachery. Executed means killed. This term is used usually to indicate that the king or the government has taken the decision to kill a citizen, usually for having committed a serious crime. When a citizen committed serious crime in a government, then government will take some decision to punish him. Then it is called execute. Treachery means betrayal of trust. Okay, so the Thane of Cawdor, the nobleman of Cawdor, was committed betrayal of trust to king. That's why he will be killed. The king has been blessed with the reports of your bravery. Reports of your bravery means at the beginning of the play, Macbeth and Banquo are returning from the battle after defeating two invading armies. The king is referring to this victory. Yeah, Macbeth and Banquo, they were coming from a battle that they defeated the enemies of the king. That's why this report of that defeat that made him very blessed. This report made the king very blessed because of these two people's bravery. They defeated the army, and he had decided that the title is yours. And also, king decided to give the title. Which title? Thane of Cawdor. That nobleman will be killed. So the title of Thane of Cawdor will be given to Macbeth. Okay. Then Macbeth in shock. The witches have predicted that he will be Thane of Cawdor, and that happened within minutes. That's why he became very shocked. That time Banquo was saying, "Be careful, Macbeth, for evil powers often mislead men and harm them." Macbeth, you should aware of everything. You should be careful because some evil powers, witches are evil powers, not good powers. They are evil powers. So sometimes they will lead people or lead men to the wrong place, and they will harm the people. That's why you should be careful. However, Macbeth does not hear him as he is thinking about the other prophecies. He was not thinking about what Banquo said about the witches. He was thinking that how he could be the king of Scotland. It was the next prophecy made by witches. Okay, it was the first scene. So next scene, scene 2, the Scottish moors, King Duncan's camp. Moor, we said, it's a wild open area. Okay, so next scene we can see wild open area where there is King Duncan and his people. Okay, Macbeth and Banquo ride on until they see the king. Yeah, Macbeth and Banquo were riding on their horses until they saw the king and his retinue. Retinue means group of advisors, assistants, or other accompanying an important person. It is the team, assisting team of a man, a important man. For example, like king, minister, like people, they will have a lot of accompanying man, secretaries like that. Yeah, so here King and Duncan King and his assisting people, they were waiting for them on the moors. They were waiting for Macbeth and Banquo in their moors, in their wild open area. King Duncan welcomes Macbeth warmly. When King saw him, he welcomed warmly. King Duncan, "Oh, worthy cousin, oh my cousin, you have the worthiest brother or worthiest man to me. How can I express the gratitude I owe to you? How can I explain you my gratitude I owe to you for these great victories? I am dedicating to you for your own efforts to get this victory against the enemies." Then Macbeth, "I owe you my loyalty and service, sir. Dear King, I am dedicating my loyalty and my service for you because you are our king. I do everything by your honor. I will do anything for you as you are my king and I have honor to you." Then King Duncan, patting Macbeth on the back. "Come, cousin, I will stay with you tonight in your castle." Then Duncan said, "Today I will be with you in your castle today." Okay. Macbeth quickly sends his wife a letter asking her to prepare for their royal guest. He informed her wife that our guest will come today to our castle, so you have to prepare everything today. He also tells her about the witches. He also gave the explanation about what happened in the earlier with the prophecies of witches. It is the second scene. Now, scene 4. Macbeth's castle in Dunsinane. It's a place Dunsinane, and here is the castle of Macbeth. And the third scene is happening here in this place. Lady Macbeth enters. Lady Macbeth came, wife of Macbeth. She is a beautiful woman, burning with ambitions. Yeah, she is much beautiful and also having lot of ambitions in her life. Lady Macbeth. My lord, what are your tidings? Tiding means news of or information. So, what are your informations to me, Macbeth? My love, Duncan comes here tonight. Dear my love, Duncan will come today to our castle, Lady Macbeth. And what do you propose to do? And what do you want to do with King today? Then Macbeth, you speak about the prophecies. Did you thinking about the prophecies? Do you think I could be the king of Scotland? How you think that I can be the king of Scotland? Then Lady Macbeth fiercely, very loudly, yes, you will. And we cannot lose this opportunity. Today we have a good opportunity. We never lose it. Let us murder King Duncan. Let's kill him, the king, when he comes here as our guest. Today he will be our guest. So today we can kill him and you can be the king of Scotland. Then Macbeth in horror. He became very terrified. Even if we try, what if we fail? Let us try, but what will be if we failed to do the so that then Lady Macbeth scornfully means in a way that shows no respect for someone. Really, Macbeth is her husband, but when husband said this, she became very angry. She has to be the queen. That's why she want to do everything. So she said very unrespectfully or disrespectfully, "We file? Do we file? No, never will happen. Let us do that." Okay, it was the scene 3. Next, scene 4. It is happening. The scene 4 is just to take place in night. Night time at the castle of Macbeth. Macbeth creeps into the room of the sleeping king. Creep means uh, go or come to a place slowly with slow steps. Room of the sleeping king, the room where king is sleeping there, and stabs him with the two dagger. Stab means to push or somebody or something with a sharpened object. Here daggers means a knife having two edge. Okay, so two daggers left there by his wife. Yeah, his wife, Lady Macbeth, has left a dagger, two-sided dagger there in the room, and Macbeth came to the room at night, creeping very slowly, and he took that knife and he stabbed. He pushed with that to the king, King Duncan. Okay, then he stumbles out. He just came back to the room very suddenly, escaping from king. Stick with the horror. Yeah, he was full of feared and horrified. But the deed is almost done. That means that king has been killed. The next day, Duncan's two sons flee the country. Next day, Duncan was killed. So his two sons they ran out from the Scotland because their father Duncan was killed by someone to get power, to be king. That's why they thought that man will also kill them to get power and also to be king. That's why they feared and they ran out of the country. The noble agrees. That means the noble people agreed the Macbeth should be their next king. But the witches' prophecy about Banquo haunts Macbeth. But the prophecies made by witches has about Macbeth happened completely. He became the Cowder of Thane of Cowder, and also he became the king. Next prophecy was about Banquo. That made very confused to Macbeth. That made him very horrified. Okay. So he invites everyone to a grand feast. He arranged a grand feast and invited everyone for Banquo and his son also. His son was Flames to be killed by assassins. He decided to kill Banquo and his son Fleance by assassins. Assassins means people who are killing others or healing anyone to get money or to get something else. Okay, they are assassins. So he arranged to a man to kill Banquo and his son on the way to the banquet. Banquet means feast. When they will come, Banquo and his son will come to the feast. He arranged a man to kill them. But the assassin only succeed in killing Banquo. But assassin only could to kill Banquo. His son Fleance escaped from that attack. Okay, it is the fourth scene. Next scene 5. The great dining hall in Macbeth's castle. After that, it was a dining hall of Macbeth's castle. They were sitting in that dining hall. The banquet is underway in the great hall of the royal palace. This feast was in the underway of the palace. As Macbeth approached his seat, he paused. Yeah, when Macbeth was coming to sit in his seat, he became too pale. Pale means look visibly afraid. His face loses color. When we will afraid and our faces will be turned into another color, it's called pale. Here Macbeth began to pale. The ghost of Banquo is sitting in his chair. He was afraid because the ghost of Banquo was sitting next to chair. Macbeth stares and cries out in horror. When Macbeth saw this ghost, he became to cry or he became too horrified that is happening there. Then Banquo, Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. The ghost of Banquo called him. Macbeth, behold, look low. If I am truly standing here, then I see him. That means he is very sure that he can see Banquo, the ghost of Banquo, as sure as he is of the fact that he is standing there in the great hall. As well as he can sure that he is standing in great hall, and also he can sure that there is the ghost of Banquo he can see. The guests begin to whisper as Macbeth continues to talk to what they think is an empty chair. When people are looking, there is only one empty chair, but Macbeth's talking to that chair. So people were whispering, they were murmuring, they were something very slowly. What is happening there? What the king is saying. Lady Macbeth. When Lady Macbeth saw this, she said to Macbeth, I beg you not to speak. I begging you to not speak because people are looking to you. And to the guest, she said something to the guest. He grows worse and worse. His condition is being worse and worse. Good night, my lords. A kind good night to all. Good night to everyone. We can wind up the feast now. Everyone can go to your place. Okay, very good night. A guest. Good night. Then a guest said that good night and may better health and attend his majesty. I hope that king will be better soon. It is just wishing them. Okay. It was the scene 5. Next scene 6. Macbeth's castle in Dunsinane. A new reign of terror begins. Here, a new reign of terror. That means a period of time when a ruler controls people in a violent and a cruel way. Here, the King Macbeth was very cruel one. Then people were not ready to accept him. They also were against him. The people turned against their monstrous king. He was a monstrous king. That's why people didn't love him. The witches appear before Macbeth again to warn him. Now the old witches they came again and they made some predicts to warn him. First witch, beware, beware, Macduff. The three witches. Macbeth will never be vanquished. Vanquished means completely defeated until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane. Macbeth will not be defeated until the Birnam Wood come to Dunsinane. If Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane, then he will be defeated. Then Macbeth. That can never be. It never happen. Who can command a forest to move? How a forest can move? Tell me, will Banquo's children ever rule Scotland? Speak. Do you think that Banquo's children can be the king of Scotland? As witches said, speak. But the witches disappear once again. But that witches disappeared. It was the scene 6. Then next, last scene. Okay, the full of climax here. Scene 7. The nobleman Macduff returns to Scotland with Duncan's son, Malcolm. Together, they decided to defeat Macbeth. In Birnam Wood, they decided a plan. Each soldier will carry a branch of a tree as camouflage and move towards the castle to attack. Camouflage means clothes and other materials that are used to help you seem part of your surroundings to see so that you cannot be seen easily. That soldiers will use some kind of these things to not be understood very quickly. When they will hide in any place, they will use like this clothes and the dried leaf to be hidden. Okay, that's like here they made a plan that every soldier will take a branch of tree and it will be put on the head, and they will move towards the castle of Macbeth to attack. Then when people will so they only can see that some trees are moving. Okay, that was their plan. Macbeth's messenger sees that moving trees and runs ahead to warn his king. When Macbeth's messenger saw that some trees are moving, then he became afraid and he went to warn the king. Messenger, sir, the Birnam wood is moving. Sir, the Birnam wood is moving to us. Then Macbeth in a rage, he became very afraid and said, liar, slave. But Macbeth sees the forest moving as well and rushes outside the fight. He was calling this messenger, you are laying and you are slave. But Macbeth saw that forest is moving and it is rushing to them. It is coming very fastly to them to attack or to start a fight. Then Macduff, face me, you devil. Then Macduff called Macbeth to fight with him. Face me, you devil man. Macduff and Macbeth fight fiercely. They began to fight without fear. Soon Macbeth begins to tire. But Macbeth began to tire immediately. He became tired. Macduff, yield, you coward. Yield, it is to saying surrender. Mr. Coward, you can surrender. Coward means it is not name, it is having less courage. He called coward. Macbeth, I will not yield. I will not surrender. I will fight till the last. I will fight until I will be killed. But Macbeth is defeated and is slain by Macduff. He killed. Slain means killed in a violent way by Macduff. The Scottish nobles feels no pity on remorse. Remorse means a feeling of sadness and being sorry for something you have done. If we have done something wrong to someone, we will have a feeling, yeah. It's called remorse. So Scottish people have no sad about the king who killed the Macbeth. The reign of blood is over. The rule of blood is over because it was started by the killing of Duncan and now it is also stopped by the killing of Macbeth. So it is over. There is talk of Banquo's son Fleance. Here it is the chance of Fleance, son of Banquo, succeeding to the throne. He was succeeding to the throne and he is going to be the king. All the prophecies made by the witches have been proved correct. The prophecies made by witches, it happened into correct. But did they predict the future? Did they predict what will happen next? Or did they influence the actions of Macbeth and thus create the future? Or did they influence the actions of Macbeth and they will create the future again? We don't know what will happen, and Shakespeare also don't know what will happen. It is the play and it is ending here. Okay, it is adapted from the tragedy of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. It was taken from the complete play of tragedy of Macbeth written by William Shakespeare. Okay, I think that chapter is very clear for you all. Thank you everyone for watching this video.